people of Ghana, it's your Nigerian God pleasure bringing you political news in our channel, Ghanatube. As always, our wonderful channel, always here to give you all the wonderful news your way. And I am always your girl pleasure bringing you this news your way. Please switch.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the marketplace. My name is Winston Tagi. Coming up in this bulletin, Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana insists the economy is showing signs of significant improvement with a positive outlook. Also, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama insists the city will be recognized legal tender in Ghana.
Disturbing trend persists, where a growing number of local businesses and service providers, particularly in real estate and other sectors, are demanding payments in US dollars or quoting prices in foreign currency. This is a breach of the law.
Also, the Ghana Union of Traders Association promises to reduce prices by some significant margin if shipping charges are reviewed.
So whatever fees that these shipping lines will charge has to go to Parliament for Parliament, to ratify it. And if they are able to do that, prices, I can tell you, prices will even, go down further.
We have details of these plus showbiz shortly right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the marketplace. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has maintained that the economy is showing signs of significant improvement with a positive outlook. This was their verdict after they met last Thursday to review developments in the economy. My colleague George Biafe has been going through the documents and joins me with more. George, what is the basis for this verdict?
Well, if you go through the statement that they've issued, they say a lot of things. I mean, basically trying to justify why they are making that projection. But a little bit of a background. You know, there's been this whole argument about back and forth about whether indeed this emergency meeting was justified or was necessary or not. And I just want you to go to just a quick line in the statement that the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana, they have actually issued. If you look through on the screen, it says that now the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana held an emergency meeting on Thursday, July 17, determine whether conditions warrant an immediate action ahead of the scheduled one. So if you look at this part, it warranted an immediate action ahead of the scheduled 125 meeting that is last month. This is in line with our commitment to be proactive and also be responsive to policy formulation. So you realize that this line, the Bank of Ghana, is trying to more justify the argument that they had to actually do this meeting. Well, if you go through the statement again, if you go through the last part of it, why it is saying that the economy is expanding as well, it talks about the gross international reserves that is actually seeing some significant improvement, and we'll be getting some fine details to explain to you. It's gone up significantly to 11 billion as at the end of June 2025. Now that is equivalent to 4.8 months of import cover. Now, if you want to measure the pulse of the economy that is doing well, this is one thing that you also want to look at. And if you also look at inflation as well, inflation has gone down significantly to 13.7%, and the argument is that it could be going down again. So some of these indicators plus the trade surplus, that is why the Bank of Ghana, or the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana, is arguing that the economy is indeed on a strong footing.
Still on a strong footing. What other outlook are they focusing on in this segment?
Well, I mean, these cards will show you, and as I explained earlier on, the bit about the reserves, which is critical, the bit about the surplus as well, which is very, very critical, and also the fact that inflation is going down, and they think that basically all these things should show that the economy is doing well, and that is why they are actually positive about the outlook in the coming months, that they don't see things getting out of hand with respect to how things have gone and all the rest, and that is why we believe that it is good for the economy. And for some will say, so you look at the city, and there's another critical indicator that you want to look at. The city has done 42% ending June, reversing losses recovered or seen over the past months. And this is a strong indicator for any economy that is doing well. Now, also, is the governor or the Bank of Ghana is saying that they've added $1.6 billion in addition to reserves for the first 6 months of this year, surpassing what the IMF program is asking them to do. Another indicator that indeed you make a judgment that the economy is doing well. Now, current account surplus of riding to $3.4 billion in the first half of this year. Again, another critical indicator for them that shows that the economy is doing well. And also the fact that the Monetary Policy Committee to announce, and again, it comes back to the whole argument about, what is next. And they are saying that, well, on the 30th of July, Wednesday, they will announce a new policy rate. We don't know whether it's going to go down significantly or it will be a marginal one. And again, as you said earlier on, the economy is showing some significant improvement with a positive outlook. And if we don't see any threat, because you want to look at this one and form a judgment about the margin of increment or the margin of reduction in the policy rate. So if you look at all these things, it is clear that the Bank of Ghana or the Monetary Policy Committee may not have any choice than to actually reduce the rates. Will it be by 100 basis points, by 200 basis points? Well, we don't know.
The 200 basis point, we know ISA is demanding projecting. The Ghana Bankers Association are also projecting 200 basis point. We're hoping the market will respond concurrently.
I mean, it's right, and these are what market watchers are saying. But what are the members of the Monetary Policy Committee also seeing? Another critical indicator here, we're looking at the reserves actually hitting $11 billion as well. But we don't know what they will be seeing. But again, they are giving us some indications that, the West will be holding the policy rate. The better will be dropping it down by some significant margin when they meet the ending of this month to actually decide on what will be the policy rate for the Bank of Ghana and basically the economy going forward.
We'll certainly be monitoring activities from the central bank and bring our viewers subsequent conversation on that development. Thank you so much, John, for giving us that update as well. Now, still on the central bank, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has firmly stated that the US dollar is not a legal tender in Ghana and therefore cannot be used for the payment of goods and services within the country. Speaking at the ABSA UPSA quarterly banking roundtable in Accra, Dr. Isiama warned that the central bank is preparing to crack down on this practice. Now, we're going to get on Zoom and speak to Senior Banking and Finance Lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, for more analysis on this development. Welcome, Doc. And are you surprised by the governor's revelation that there are some people that are actively printing fake currencies in the country?
Very much. It shouldn't come as a surprise because in every economy, and most importantly, when the economy is heavily cash-based, you will have a lot of individuals or corporate entities who may want to print fake banknotes just to take advantage of unsuspecting individuals and businesses that they transact with. So it is not surprising. It happens everywhere, and it is more pronounced in economies that are more cash-based.
Well, should this be a national security concern or just a central bank enforcement directive?
It is a national security concern. The usage of these counterfeit or fake currencies basically is giving you a paper that is not a currency to take money from you. If you are not fortunate and you are caught, you cannot transact with it. So what happens is that you lose value when you give them your genuine note. So clearly, it is a national security concern, and Bank of Ghana, I believe they collaborate with national security. Not just national security, Bank of Ghana will have to engage the public in public education, on TV, on radio, social media, so that we'll get to know what the security features are. For big cash-based businesses, it will be good if they are empowered to know what to do by way of being supported with counterfeit detecting support systems like the UV detector. We can talk about mobile apps that we can also use to determine or detect genuine currency from fake currencies. And also to add by saying that Bank of Ghana will have to collaborate with other international agencies like Interpol, IMF, etc. Because you see, many of these individuals are syndicates.
Yes.
They don't just operate in Ghana. They move from one place to the other. And so if you are able to collaborate, then you can pick on note, share lessons, and know how to strategize and deal with these individuals. Definitely, it is a national security concern that involves all of us. So we all have a role to play in it.
The central bank has raised concerns over a lot of sectors like the real estate, pricing most of the activities in dollar and some businesses. And by that, it is leading to dollarization. How can it be best dealt with, either from the central bank or from the ground up in terms of enforcement?
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we day in, day out keep talking about dollarization. You see, one thing we need to understand is that there is no economic transaction under the sun that the Ghana cedi cannot be used for. Every single economic transaction, the Ghana cedi is more than able to be used, so long as it is a legal tender. When it comes to paying across borders, then you may need the dollar through a bank, not dollar through physical transportation of the currency, because it carries a lot of risk. So if we have economic agents within our geographical borders using or accepting dollar as a means of exchange, then that is wrong and it is an illegality. In fact, the central bank governor shouldn't have made a statement that I can accept it. It should be, you should not accept it, because we have our currency which has all the ability to be used as a means of exchange or a medium of exchange for any form of transaction. So clearly it is wrong. It is because we have allowed it over time, and that is why it is so. We are not using a two currency system in Ghana. Our currency is Ghana cedis. If you want any hard currency, you go to the bank, you place an order, you provide a supporting document, and then the bank will effect the transfer on your behalf. It's as simple as that. So those who are doing it, it's an illegality, and we need to educate them, and the Bank of Ghana must also go after them and then deal with them.
Look, I want to get from you, the central bank, the Monetary Policy Committee yesterday finished their meeting and they released a report recently. What do you make of the standoff, especially whether the policy rate will be going up or whether we're reducing down? By what basis point are you projecting based on the indicators that has come forward?
So far, so good. If you have been watching the macro variables right from beginning of the year, even right from last quarter last year through the beginning of the year up to July now, one can see that the variables have improved on the positive side. If you look at inflation, inflation has been declining consistently over time. And the numbers we also showed earlier on clearly shows that we are having some level of stability and then some reversals in the losses that we have incurred. Clearly, at this point in time, Bank of Ghana will have to reduce the rate. But the question is, by what margin? If you look at the improvement on the macro front, if you look at the reserves front, clearly it will be good from my point, and this is an individual's point, that any rate between 150 basis point to 250 basis point reduction is fair, and it's a gradual easing of the rate. Any higher rate easing may send some, some rumbles through the, the economy. So we should rather ease it over time. And I'm saying that between 150 to 250 basis point MPC rate reduction is a good starting point for us.
150 to 200. Thank you very much, Dr. Benjamin Moore, for your insight here on the marketplace. Still on business, the Ghana Union of Traders Association has revealed that it will move quickly to reduce prices of the goods if the government is able to deal with the high shipping charges and fees at the country's ports. The first vice president of the union, Clement Boateng, disclosed this on PM Express Business Edition yesterday.
Don't stick yourself to one shop. Ask the prices from shop A, you go to shop B, you go to shop C. It is there that you see that there are differences. But if you stick yourself to one shop, maybe you didn't get the benefit that you desire. But I can tell you, prices have gone down as we promised.
If the CD appreciate further, we're going to see further reduction.
Further reduction, and this will come about as a result of some issues that we want the government
like what
to deal with,
because
one has to do with the issue of the shipping lines, and I'm sure
the president has asked that.
The president has asked that. Even yesterday, 3 days ago, we even had a meeting with the shippers
authority
shippers. No, the meeting, shippers council was there. Then the shipping lines association were there. A number of stakeholders were there, and then we put it before them because the president had met a GIF, and GIF had complained about the attitude of this
Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders.
They had complained about the attitude of this shipping lines. And so, if you could remember, the president even charged the Attorney General and the Minister of Transport to make sure that the Parliament of Ghana is the sole authority to be fixing fees and charges. And so whatever fees that these shipping lines will charge has to go to Parliament for Parliament, to ratify it. And if they are able to do that, prices, I can tell you, prices will even, go down further. Because if we take the total percentage of the charges of the import regime,
the cost of shipping,
the cost of shipping charges, against the total import duties that we pay in Ghana here is about 4%. But if you compare it to some of the countries within the sub-region, it's about 2%. It's about 2%. It's about 2%. Togo, Ivory Coast, Nigeria. It's about 2%. So these shipping lines are, milking us. Don't forget that the same vessel, that call at the ports of this neighboring countries,
Nigeria,
are the same vessel that
so I get from you that third round of reductions will be very dependent on these shipping charges being reviewed as well.
Yes.
Please do well to like, comment, and follow. Put your notification bell so you get all our news one by one. Thanks, my people.